making sure.
Okay, we'll call this meeting to order of the ZBA. I don't know if everybody here has met a new member, Rick Wasina,
Wasina?
just like it's spelled.
You got it.
And then I'll introduce everybody, starting with
John Schmaker?
John.
Wayne Woodson.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm John Tufts. Everybody did sign the sheet. The purpose of this hearing is to review the administration appeal of Dennis Hardigan. The applicant is appealing a denial of an after-the-fact building permit for a deck on property located at 198 East Shore Road, tax map 35, lot 6. And we need to determine if we have jurisdiction over this.
Down through the checklist, didn't you?
What's that?
Down through your checklist to make sure that we get the jurisdiction.
This is administration appeal. There is no checklist.
I think you have to decide if it's filed in a timely
Yes.
manner. Yeah.
For the sake of time, in all these, it was it? Do I hear a motion on jurisdiction?
I'll make a motion that we do have jurisdiction to hear the case. Yeah, They
I'll
have
second
met,
that.
but they have met the timeline.
All in favor? Any questions? I should have come the other way around. Okay. Dennis Hardigan? Yes. Would you come to the podium, please? And state your case.
Dennis Hardigan. We have the cottage at 198 East Shore Road in Waterboro. Before this gets going, if I may, we had an incident last weekend at our cottage, and I want to commend next door to our cottage, and I want to commend the firemen. They did a great job there during the incident. It was a fire. But just wanted to say that anyway. We were denied, the whole story, you want me to give the whole soup to nuts?
Your side of the story.
My side of the story, okay? In 2008, I believe it was April 2008, I removed I'll call it debris, unsafe patio from the back area of the house. It was encompassed, surrounded by the old style railroad ties, 4x4s maybe, and they had rebar holding them in. The area was inside this area, inside this patio, I'll call it, was stone, and they had some concrete in there, and brick, and I want to call it, it wasn't flagstone, but it seemed like it. We took that out. It was unsafe to, walk around. It was coming towards the summertime, unsafe to go back there. We installed a 10 by 23 inch slab. That was in, I believe it was April 2008. And then, in somewhere around towards the end of 2009, somewhere around the end of 2009, we constructed a deck above that. And the deck is enlarged, bigger than the patio area by 6 feet. Looking out of the building on the right-hand side. The reason the deck is bigger than the patio is on the right-hand side, we put a rock garden on the right-hand side, on below, so that, because,
Just to clarify, you've got a 10 by 23 concrete pad,
yep,
and over the top of this, going towards the lake or towards the side of the camp, you've got another 6 feet out over the pad. Is the,
Can I give you
the
these?
23,
Not toward the lake,
No,
toward
it's
the
toward
side
the
of the
side.
building.
yeah,
Okay.
towards the
this pad is not towards the lake, it's to the side of the building?
Pad itself's toward the
pad,
lake.
pads towards the lake.
But the 6 feet over the
So
pad,
you're talking a 6-foot wraparound deck around the building? And I just wanted a visual.
No, what it is,
And
it's
I
going,
probably got it here somewhere.
it's all going off the back.
it's
It's
the whole
10 it's
front,
10,
the
it's
whole-
10 feet off, it's 10 feet off the back of the house.
It's not the back of the house.
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. It's the front of the house.
And you're calling the water the
Sister.
front.
Yeah, yes. The water to the front, yes. I'm sorry.
I do have that. Continue. I got a visual now.
Okay.
Oh, you gotta take the picture.
On the right-hand side, I'm looking out, on the right-hand side down below, I should have said before, the right-hand side down below, I left 6 feet on the right, roughly 6 feet, and put stone there, because it goes up. I wanted to have the watershed, the water comes down on the right-hand side of the house there. Good. So we made the pad 23 feet. Now, when we go up above, I made the deck the length of the back of the house, of the front of the house.
The deck itself is facing the water.
Correct. The front of the house, yep. And that goes, the reason why it goes 6 more feet, because it goes over the stone, over the rock garden, I'll call it, and then follows down to the left of 23 feet.
Now, in regards to this deck, we're going back a couple of years, but my question is that you were denied a building permit,
Correct?
and there's a deck.
Correct?
So after you were denied a building permit, you went and built it anyway?
No.
Oh,
The deck was constructed, was
okay.
just about complete. And then,
But you built it without a building permit?
correct,
Okay. And that's what's in question, yeah,
yes.
okay. And were you not told that it was in violation of Waterboro zoning codes?
I wasn't, I wasn't told that by anybody,
You weren't,
until I was told to get a permit.
right? And you have a letter from the code enforcement officer.
Yes, I have. You want to go through the,
Well, I just, you're telling me about all this, what's in this picture and
Right.
everything, but that's not the picture tells me that you were not given permission to build a deck, but yet there is a deck there.
correct.
Oh, okay. So what is the
So-
complaint against the code enforcement officer?
Well, what it was we got the first letter to, we got asked to take out the permit was denied.
Right.
Then we turned around, and when it was denied, I asked the question, what can we do to make it happen? Is there anything we can do to make it happen? At that time there, it was to give me some, Patty had asked, the code enforcement officer asked me to give her, able to give her some information about the deck, about the patio below, if I had any information about it. I didn't have any pictures of it. So that time went along. It went along for, I don't know, 4 months or so. That time went along for about 4 months. So now, let me see if I can get the scenario here. Step back a little bit here. And after that right there, before the permit was before it was denied,
Yeah.
we came into August. From April to August.
The permit was denied.
Yep.
Yes.
So now we talked, the code enforcement officer and myself talked in August. In August, the code enforcement officer actually came down to the site. After that, I asked what else, what we can do for, to make this happen. See if we can get it, okay, get the permit. That's when we turned around and we gave you, gave the department a letter, a couple of letters from people that helped us remove the debris and helped us construct the patio. Those letters, I believe you guys have. Okay?
Also without a permit. Yeah.
Reasoning B,
But building without a permit?
we're constructing the patio, the concrete patio.
I do believe so, yes. You need a permit for that.
What if it was already there? It was an old one already
He just said
existing.
he just constructed.
He took the old out, put new in.
He said debris. I was
It was a-
assuming there was rocks,
Oh, no, no, it was a-
trees and
No, it was a
brush and so
No,
on.
there's an old existing one there. All he did was take it out, put new in.
So now, after those letters there, that
Without a permit. You did that without a permit.
if you said I need a permit, then that's correct, yes.
Okay.
If I needed a permit to construct a patio, concrete patio, to replace one that was existing,
Permit or permission?
How close is this to the lake?
the house is roughly 70 feet from the lake.
So that all falls under shoreline zoning, which, yes, you didn't need a town permit, a DEP permit, and the whole 9 yards, so yes, okay. That,
To replace a patio that was
to
existing?
do anything within 100 feet of that water.
Absolutely within 100 feet of the water.
100 feet of the water, that is.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what the significance of the patio is to the deck.
Well, I'll get to that for a second if I could. So the two letters weren't sufficient enough evidence that there was a patio there, a concrete, some sort of a concrete patio there. So now what we did was we turned around and I asked one of the abutters to sign an affidavit. And they're here tonight, Cindy and Joe Daly, they're here tonight to say that they, help me out here, to support us. Turned out that that wasn't enough evidence, didn't convince Patty that there was a existing patio there. So now, after that, time went a little bit, and I actually called the previous owner, Doris Bergeron, to support us in regards to that. And in the interim, we actually found a picture that showed patio furniture, I'll call it, in the back of the house, in the front of the house. And that went along, and that wasn't sufficient. Just after that, the code enforcement officer also came to the house and to take pictures and to witness what was there again. And that's pretty much it. From there, she said, Patty said that she'll review what she has not, with herself right now, and she'll get back to me by the end of the week. That happened. I came down, and everything was denied again, and we took out the appeal.
Anything else? Do we have any questions?
The deck, from what I understand,
I want to get Patty to tell her story, maybe it'll answer some of the...
from what I understand, the patio, which was existing, was replaced to basically the footprint that was there, the concrete was. I have one of the just says shoreline zoning buffer standards here. The grandfathered buildings within the buffer may be expanded if the expansions are no closer to the water body than the original structure. Such expansions of floor area and of volume are limited to 30% of the floor area and volume. That I could come up off of that no more than 30% of the existing structure.
That's in the 100-foot shoreline.
Even if there was something
Then-
already there?
The camp isn't even 100 feet from the shoreline, so what if you improved on your camp? You can't improve inside?
The whole thing
This
Not
is-
towards the water.
Well, anywhere.
Is this by a certain date?
well, that goes back into,
January
I
1st, 1989.
was going to say, early 90s or 89.
Okay, so I'm replacing a structure that was there before that date.
Only the pad that was torn up and replaced, not the deck.
Not that whole deck thing.
But the deck can be put up off of that because it's grandfathered in.
Can I
Yes.
respond to that? If the patio is significant, because if it was in the size that the deck is, they could put a deck on top of it, but it still would count towards 30% expansion, and it still cannot be expanded any closer to the water body than what the patio was.
Absolutely.
But the 30% applies, and that after what was existing on January 1st, 1989, that's where that date comes in.
And that's forever. I mean, that's to be recorded.
But
Has the facility ever been increased by any percentage of that 30% since its original structure was put up?
In 82, but it only counts after 89.
Right.
So since
So
89...
nothing's been done after 89 to the structure to increase that and
No.
take away any of that 30%, which would be cubic feet and volume. square footage and volume, it's a combination.
Either or both.
Yeah, whichever is less. And it requires a permit, it requires review and a permit.
Which would mean that he'd have to prove that it meets zoning otherwise, like setbacks and things like that.
Right.
But if the structure was there, what I don't understand, if the structure was there,
If we're saying,
When you mean structure, you mean
patio.
you're
don't
talking
say
about the patio pad.
patio,
The patio, even, let's even assume that that was there. Whatever you build above that, which would be a deck, you've got to include that. That's got to calculate out of your 30%.
Oh, I understand the percentage part of it.
It's the
But
same.
why are we, what, the zoning law, I understand the zoning law and what you're saying, you know, as far as the 100-foot and all this and that. Why does this come into the zoning law if it's before 1989? I'm replacing the structure that's there.
The deck wasn't
The
there.
deck
the
wasn't
deck
there.
wasn't there.
But we're talking about the
But
deck,
th-
not
can
the
I
patio.
come up off of that deck no matter what?
Not
Even-
without-
Unless I have a
not without
permit.
a shoreland zoning permit.
Can I explain why the permit was denied?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If it met the standards, I could have issued an after-the-fact permit. It's denied because there is no proof that I can see that that patio was 10 by 26, 28 feet, which is what the deck is.
Well,
The
I've
deck
been-
comes out closer to the lake than the patio,
Absolutely.
which I can't permit. The board could give a variance, but I can't permit it. It's for those two reasons that I had to deny the permit. The pictures provided, and there's a video from 1990 from the lake to the shore. You cannot tell, I can't tell, that there was a 10 by 23-foot patio in front of that camp. But the assessing records don't show it. There's nothing, there's no solid proof that the patio was there of that size.
But even if there was, this deck is bigger.
Right.
By 6 feet, you just said that you built that out 6 feet over the,
No, it went 6 feet long, but the patio, the concrete pad, I'll call it, the patio that was there before extended to 1 foot before the end of the house. I left it 6 foot.
Can I say something?
Yeah,
But the deck goes all the way to the edge of the house.
yes.
Absolutely.
Right, so it's a foot, what it is, in essence, it's a
But the
foot big.
patio didn't,
No,
no.
the existing patio did. But I didn't go that far because of the water runoff. Now,
Can I state something? I, been growing up there ever since I was a little kid.
step up to the, because they ain't gonna be able to hear you.
I'm, 34 years old, and I've been there ever since I was in diapers, and I can always remember there being that patio there, as long as I can remember, and we're there every summer, and I can vouch for him that it was there. I watched him tear it out, and he didn't make it any bigger than what it was before. The deck overhangs it by 6 feet, but the size of the deck is exactly the size of the patio, except for that extra 6 feet on the end.
The burden of proof for that patio is on the homeowner, I do believe, and the size. Now, I think I've heard 2 different sizes on that patio.
Could I have your names?
Joseph Petrie? Because we abut them, and where he did that patio, where you can see, perfectly through there, so you'd know if something was different.
And when did you buy the house?
December of '07.
Okay. And this is a picture of the old house, which shows a picnic table and a
Yes,
lawn.
yes.
Okay. I don't see a patio.
What's the date?
I thought it might have been just when it was,
No, it wasn't like a solid concrete patio. There was concrete there, but you could tell it was, somebody didn't pour it out of a truck, you know? It was handmade.
I guess the deck, the concrete deck is not a big problem in my mind, yeah.
It's-
You've replaced something, whether you made it bigger or
Sure.
smaller or same size, that's not a problem. You've got a deck now that is, I'm calculating, probably over the 30%, and you've got no permit to build this deck, and everything is within the 100-foot of the shoreline zone. The whole parcel that you built around the front and the side of that camp is in violation of the shoreline zoning.
and that's a state law.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
The,
Patty, I think, had,
Yeah, I want to clarify that, Wayne. 30% doesn't even come into play. I don't think that that deck would even come close to 30% of the square feet within 100 feet of the water. That-
They haven't gone through the right processes.
It doesn't,
And-
even ma- the
That doesn't-
30% doesn't
Okay,
apply in this case. It's because it went closer to the water, because there's not proof of the size of the patio, enough for me to have issued a permit to even consider 30%. And the sideline is also comes into play. If you look on, a little bit before that, there's a survey that shows, yeah, the house goes right to
Right
the
to the
line,
line.
so the deck would go, I couldn't issue a permit for that deck
right, and I can check.
without a variance. The board can grant a variance, but I can't.
And the pictures clearly show that I don't see a patio. I see a picnic table on a lawn, but I don't see a patio, and that was in 2008.
can I don't know if Cindy's here and the previous owner is here, Doris
Yes.
Bergeron. I don't know if Doris would like to speak, or Doris came here for support. She did sign an affidavit in regards to that, but I don't know if Doris wants to support.
But we have a picture, sir, in
I
2008.
understand that, sir, but everybody's saying that there was not one there.
Well,
We say, you can say that, I took it up. What was there, I took up.
In
It was
2000
old and decrepit.
In 2008?
Yes, in 2008. In the spring of 2008. That's what to replace it. I knew that summer was coming, we're gonna start using it in the front yard. Didn't want anybody to get hurt or whatever it may be. It would've been very uncomfortable. So I took that up. Actually, the railroad ties that went in there encompassed the angle that's to get to that. And I don't think, in my judgment, talking with the building inspector, the code enforcement officer, that she didn't deny that there wasn't one there. It was the size.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so
what
the
it is.
size of the patio, if, I'm saying it was 28 feet long, 29 feet, 28 feet long. And I couldn't tell how wide it was myself, I don't remember. But the machine I used had a after all this here, I measured the machine I used, was 5'6" bucket that I used. I didn't go much more than that 5'6" bucket. I went probably precise before I hit the railroad tie on the left-hand side. And I tore the patio, the railroad ties up. Now, again, the code enforcement officer, Patty, wasn't denying that there was not a patio there, it was the width from the house towards the water.
Because you had already built a new patio.
Yes, I did.
Yes, okay.
Yes, and in the spring, yes.
So nobody has any pictures of the old
I don't have any
patio.
pictures of the old, and we haven't been able to get any pictures from,
But the burden of proof is on you to prove that there was a patio 10 by
correct,
6 by 10.
correct. And what
Right.
the only way is what you have is what I came up with.
Patty, you get more information for us?
I can show you that video, but I want to point you to the pictures that the applicant provided. If you look at those, if you look at the left-hand side of the camp, it looks like grass in front of there, and the deck comes all the way out to that edge.
We're talking the black and white one?
Yep, the black and
sold-
white.
The
Yep.
sold? The one that says sold?
Yeah, you can see the grade going up. I noticed that right off.
And the grade is going up.
Yeah, this is definitely not a patio there.
Where's that, sir? Where's that?
That's on your sold pitch, you can see the grade going up. Either that's your patio
Outside
going on
of
a
the window
slope.
where you have stone now.
The grade came up, yes. And the grade leveled off inside of that. Yes, it did. Right there.
My question would be, if there was an existing patio there,
Correct.
was that the full width of that house?
The length of the house.
Across
It missed,
Or did it stop?
it was 1 foot shy of the, like I said, they stopped at 1 foot shy because of the slope that's there, and they had some bigger stone there to prevent that from caving, from coming in. It was like, it was about 1 foot on that side. I made it 6 foot. You see what I'm saying?
Is there any evidence of the size or that there was a deck in pictures, in the video, or
Do
stills?
you want to see that?
If it's from a boat, it wouldn't show.
It's the same
Because
picture.
it's all
You're gonna get the
uphill.
same, is that the,
I think that came on. I thought it was closer than that, too. It's hard to tell.
it's the same as what you see in that picture there.
Can I mention something also? It was so old that the grass was actually growing up through it. I believe you used to have to mow it over the old existing,
Concrete slab?
it wasn't a concrete slab. It was so old that the grass would grow up through it and they'd have to actually mow there.
When was this thing?
1990.
It's exactly the same as the pictures.
Unfortunately, this is one of the reasons why permits are a good thing to get, because then you'd have documentation of what was there before you removed it and installed the new.
I made a mistake.
Unfortunately.
I got engulfed in doing what I was doing, and we did it on weekends, and,
Can I add to the comment about that it was so old that grass was growing over it?
Yes,
You can replace a structure that is functioning as a structure
yes.
within a year of it being non-functioning. So if it becomes grass and you leave it that way for a year, it's grass.
It's non-functioning as a
Right.
patio. It's a lawn that's
Right.
not moved.
wait,
You're gonna have grass coming up
wait a minute.
between the stones, though. You're
Yeah,
gonna be
Well,
careful
I mean,
of that.
that's, I
You're
just
right,
want to
that's
make
sealed
that clear to the
stones.
board, that a structure can be replaced that's functioning as what its
Okay.
intent was.
But if it's a field stone, grass is gonna grow. I have
That's
a-
what, that's what was
in
happening.
between, it doesn't mean
That's
the whole
exactly what was
surface
happening.
is gonna be grass.
You're 100%.
It's not a solid surface. It's
Exactly what was
It's
happening.
like laying bricks. You get stuff that are gonna grow up in there.
You know, all along during this here, and I'm going to say this now, I wasn't going to bring it up. This went on for 8 months. You know, and I was lucky enough, I'll put it this way also, I was lucky enough to get chances to try to get the permit by, you know, supplying information, I'll say. And the information just kept, I gave everything that I was asked to give during this 8 months, I'll say. And all of a sudden, down towards the end, it wasn't enough. I couldn't be convinced. Not once, I'm going to say, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. Down towards the end, the zoning came up, about the zoning law. We were trying to make this happen, is what we were trying to do. To get the deck okayed. That's what was happening. The pad did not come into question. I shouldn't say that. The pad was in question because of the width. Again, that's what I was led to believe. It wasn't that there was not a pad there. It was the width of the pad. It wasn't the length of the pad, it was the width of the pad. That's why I had asked the code enforcement officer to come down to the property. So I could show her the railroad tie, how the railroad ties went. There's still some railroad ties, not in the front of the house, they're alongside of the house.
Yes, I want a chance to speak to.
Comment.
I think you have more public that wants to speak.
More public wants to speak? Okay, go ahead.
My name is Cynthia Daly Petron. I am an abutter to the property, and I can vouch that there was a deck there. We've owned the cottage for over 55 years. I've been there all my life. There was an existing structure there,
You're talking patio, not deck.
not the deck.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the patio that was there was getting old, didn't make the property look nice at all. The deck that's on there now doesn't come any closer to the water than what was there before. I know he didn't get the permit, which was wrong, but sometimes we don't know all the things we're supposed to do. As laymen, I never heard any of this either. You know, we haven't done anything on our property to require a permit. But the property, the front of the property has improved 90%. It looks beautiful, and it's no closer to the water. And am I wrong in thinking that we pay our taxes per waterfront? Is that how the taxes go? By the amount of waterfront property we own?
I have no idea.
I had no
I'm pretty
idea.
sure it is, and he doesn't have very much. Do you know what your frontage is?
50, 60 feet, no, maybe 70 feet.
50 feet.
There's barely any room towards the lake to do anything. Now, as this video was going through, you notice that one of the camps, 2 camps before had the pilings of the railroad ties. His camp is built into the back of the hill. I have a hill behind my camp. When the other neighbor on the other side, who abuts me, built his place, whether he got permits or not, I don't know. He built brand-new place, took away at least 1 foot of the top of my hill, which washed into the lake. They tarred that driveway, and every time it rains, we have a deluge of water that comes down. We've got a gully that's 3 feet wide, all the way from the top of the hill, leaking into the lake. I guess my frustration is, why is there a problem to improve a property and the way it looks? I know there are rules, there are regulations, but what was there didn't enhance the property at all. And I just feel there are so many other issues at the lake to deal with other than somebody changing the facade, the front of their cottage to make it look better. Like I said, I've been there all my life. For the past 15 years, we have had aquatic weeds growing up there that were never, ever there before. I notice it's spreading every year, and nothing gets done about that. You know, I know about the milfoil thing and all that, but I've been there all my life. I'm 53 years old. I know what was there in that lake. And as far as his property goes, the porch doesn't come any closer to the water than what you see that patio furniture over there. It looks beautiful. And I don't see why the abutter on the other side was able, maybe because he has lots of money, was able to totally remove a whole building. He has less frontage than Mr. Hardigan. And he built a porch magnitude of, I don't know, it's huge. It's just huge. And I'm sure you're familiar with who I'm talking about and where I'm talking about. And maybe he can afford to pay the penalties or the fines. I know another camp on the other side of the lake where he didn't get a permit. He built a deck and he was made to take it down. All he had was maybe 5 feet of water frontage. The porch, the deck looked beautiful. And that's, you know, that's where we enjoy our summer, in the front, at the water, not in the back, you know. And like I said, he's built on the hill, and with all the runoff, he improved what was there before. Now, we had no problem with that. We like the way it looks. And I did sign a paper stating that, I know it's my word against whatever you see, but there was an existing patio over there. And I knew the Bergerons, all the years they were there, and before the Bergerons, it was, I think the people's name was Boivai. And my father did all the work around the property, and I know that was many, many years ago, and back then you probably didn't need permits to do things. But I'm just here to verify that there was an existing slab there, or whatever it was. It wasn't a slab, it was just, like you said, fieldstones, cobblestones, whatever you want to call it. And I just want to say, I think it looks so much better. I'm sorry that the permit thing, I know that plays a part, you know, that wasn't right not to do that, but I just want to say the property has improved with the deck there. Thank you.
I don't think any of us are gonna disagree that it doesn't, it looks good. The point is, you got zoning. That was enacted by your legislature. We don't have control.
That's a
They
state
do.
law.
Now, well, why could the
With
neighbor on the other
shoreland,
side do it?
shoreland zoning, but he may have done his applications. You're allowed to build within shoreland zoning. You're allowed to replace, remodel, and expand. I don't know any of the particulars about that individual. He may have done the process properly, which would have allowed him to do that. I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know the answer to that either, but now this lady here who said that even though he didn't get the permit, that if she could tell that there was an existing thing there, she could have a clause to be able to get him the
She would
permit?
allow him to do it if you can prove, if you have verification that it was an existing patio there. And it'd be great if you had a picture. My question would be to Patty and the code enforcement. I know I deal in different towns with different situations like this, and they can go on Google Earth and they can go back and look at the history of the property.
I tried
Do
that.
we have that ability to
No.
do that?
I tried it, and Patty tried it, we both tried it. But as I said, we were trying to make this happen. You can't tell.
Can't see it.
Anyway.
And what more than the owners of the property here to say that it was...
Personally, I will take merit in the fact that the previous owner has signed an affidavit stating it was there. 'cause
Did
they're
they say
swearing
what
under
size
oath.
it was? Does it say what size it was?
I guess I've
It
got to go
would-
back and look at
the
it.
deck-
Exactly.
Yeah, and the deck doesn't overpass where that
We
previous patio
didn't
was.
put the patio in.
Somebody said that it was 6 feet more towards the side property line. Is that correct?
Yes.
So it is bigger.
It's not bigger. It's 6 feet less towards that side now.
So it's 6 feet smaller than the patio.
Yes. What was on that end was 1 foot of stone, I'll say it, 1 foot of stone, 1 foot of stone there, which looks like a wall, to prevent the water from coming down. The water still came down all over it. So what I did was I made it a slope of 6 foot to take that water. So I came less than this, than what it was.
That's the patio. But what
Yes,
about the
that's the
deck?
patio. The deck does go all the way to the end, so it goes a foot longer than what was there.
So the deck is
Carolyn?
bigger than the original patio?
Yes, what, by 1 foot, yes it is.
Well, her affidavit states that it was approximately 10 feet wide and 23 feet long. How long's the deck?
The deck right now is,
Full length.
excuse me?
I want to know the full length. from
The
one
full, the
side
full
of
length,
that
the
deck
full
to
length of the
other.
deck is 29 feet now,
Okay.
which is 6 feet more than what that, with the, because of the rock garden that I put in, which made it 23 feet.
Anybody else from the audience? Patty, anything else?
I just want to direct your attention to the survey, the mortgage survey, and just keep in mind that if the deck follows the line of the house, it's probably on the other person's property.
And that's where I'm at. I'm thinking that deck is bigger than the original patio. So if the neighbor finds out that the deck is on your line or over the property, they're going to come back to the town and ask, why did you issue this?
We are the neighbors.
You might not always be the neighbors, you might sell. Eventually, somebody's going to get uptight over the decking and over the
It
line.
doesn't encroach on us.
No, it doesn't come over our property line at all. Nowhere near.
The bank survey unfortunately shows that it does.
It does.
Yeah. Shows that the whole structure is over the property line. The house itself, too.
The house is too.
Yeah,
I mean,
right
it should
front
be.
corner of that house is over the property line. So if the
No,
deck
no,
goes all the way
Why
there,
was the
and
addition,
that's looking from the road
Why was the
towards the
addition approved?
lakeside.
Was it an
The right
addition put on
side
it?
is on that property.
In
No, your
1982.
Your sideline should be 35 feet from.
so why wasn't there made notice in 1982? When the addition was put on?
At that point, they could have had a conditional use through the planning board
Should've
to
been
add
issued
on
for that.
up
No, it
to,
was before shoreline zoning plan.
Before showing zoning in 1982.
but it would have been a grandfathered lot, which would have created and,
Looks like they added on away from the shore, the garage and the
Back.
second floor.
Then
Back.
that.
The house was just lifted in the air where it was, so that we could
put a
put a
foundation under it. 'Cause
foundation
I've,
underneath.
I've got records
And
here
the
of the,
building was behind. We didn't move the house closer to one side or the other side. That just
Right.
came right back down.
That's what I'm talking about. There's a basement, I'll say a full basement down there now, under the part of the house that they lifted.
Right, but the deck was expanded.
By a
6
foot.
feet.
You know, by a foot.
Because it was expanded.
One time it's 6 and then it's
Prior.
1.
No,
Prior-
the six
prior
is
to-
less, it's less.
But the whole deck has been put on, it's,
Yes.
that's going towards the lake, that's the big thing, I think.
Yes.
This whole deck that's been put in the cottage.
From my understanding, right now, we have to say whether the patio was there or not. That's what I was to prove. If I was to, from my understanding, again, if I was to make enough proof that the patio was there, then the deck is okay. That was my understanding.
Is that
I-
right?
If
That was
that's the
my
case-
understanding.
If that's
No,
the
I
case,
can't.
if that's the case, and we do determine that, we agree that that patio was there, then that patio, according to the affidavits that we have, is 10 foot by 23 feet.
Correct.
So the most you could have that deck would be 23 feet long. I'm just telling you that,
Okay,
you know, so.
okay.
And you are correct, we're here to determine whether that patio was there or not. The deck then would be up to the code enforcement office to determine if it meets setbacks and things like that. Correct?
If the permit's been denied, and my mind is not gonna change on that.
She's already checked it.
Okay, so see, this is the...
That's why you're here. You're appealing
Yes.
my decision to deny the
Okay,
permit.
Yes.
so if they give you back the fact that the patio was there, they're gonna say to you that the Board of Appeals is gonna say that the patio was there, you're still denying the permit.
Would have to be re-looked at with the 30% expansion, the sidelines, setbacks.
Okay, now during this whole thing, again, sidelines were not brought up, setbacks were not brought up. Believe me when I tell you, believe me when I tell you.
Okay,
What we were-
That's
what we
a
were-
whole different, that's a whole different story.
Well,
We're
well,
here for the patio.
No.
I understand it,
Right
but
now,
if,
we need to determine the patio before we go to the
Okay.
next
okay,
step.
go ahead, okay, fine.
In the case, if we determine the patio's there, and he has to meet the new setbacks and requirements, he'd have to go to the planning board for a conditional use permit for this?
The planning board, no, they can't reduce setbacks to the shoreline zone, number one. They can't allow a structure to be any closer than 10 feet to the side property line, number two.
Right, and that was gonna be my question, is that they can reduce down to a 10-foot setback. And you're saying you can't allow it to go any closer to the water, that part of the structure, even though?
The planning board does not have the authority to
No.
allow a variance to this 100-foot setback. That is your sole, the zoning board's sole authority to do that, nobody else's.
Now, if we determined that the patio was existing, then they're not asking, he wouldn't have to ask for a variance. Couldn't he ask for a conditional use permit to install this deck?
He wouldn't need a conditional use permit, he'd just have to show that he's less than 30%
That's it.
of the square feet and meet the setbacks of the zone.
He's gonna meet setbacks.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
You'd have to meet setbacks. But this conditional use could reduce that from 35 feet down, 35-foot setback in that zone?
Do you see the mortgage survey that shows the edge of the house on the
I
property line?
understand.
Okay. Yeah, the planning board can reduce it down to 10 feet.
Sit down to 10 feet. So what I'm saying is that if we determine that, couldn't he go and get a reduction down to 10-foot setback with a conditional use?
The mortgage,
You'd have to cut that deck back 10 feet from the property line.
What's that again? I'm sorry,
You'd have to meet setbacks.
cut the deck back.
You'd have to meet the setbacks.
And the setback
And the
is-
lowest that you could get would be a 10-foot setback from that sideline.
this shows
Would
the
you-
house over the sideline, over the line.
I understand that.
Okay.
May I ask a question? Now, that corner of the house being on that property line, does the property line follow the edge of the house toward the water, or does it shoot off more to the right?
According to this survey that we have, this is a Class D survey done by a mortgage company. This isn't a survey by a survey.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different, you know, you can't, those guys will guarantee one thing. This is just showing where it appears to be in relationship to property lines.
Sure.
But right now, the house is turned a little bit, the right front corner of that house is over the property line. How much, we can't tell, but you can see it's
Do
over.
you have a copy of a survey?
I don't have
that
a
was
survey,
done?
I didn't have it surveyed.
What, if you come up here, I want to show you what Sean's talking about here, but.
I know what you're talking.
The deck itself that you have built
Yeah.
at this point, by coming out, is over the property
Okay.
line.
All of it.
Because, all of it,
According to that.
yes. And what he's saying is, there's a possibility of moving that. Now, if I go to this picture, that's not a good picture, but,
I know what you're saying, Mike.
you know, your 10 feet is probably back
Mhm.
here,
Okay.
okay?
Yes, that's right
And
here as well.
as you come down the property line, the whole thing sets
Yeah.
over at an angle. So you're probably talking 12 feet into that building because I don't believe the burden of proof is here.
I don't
I don't
believe that.
think, I
Well-
think we're wasting our time at this point because the burden of proof is not here. Now, whether you want a motion,
The next thing that's on the, what you do with it. If everybody has had their say, then we will close this meeting to the public participation and ask the board if they have any comments that they would like to make about this.
So, excuse me one second, if I
Yes.
may. I don't have the names, I'm terrible with names. So, right now, excuse me,
So we,
your first name?
Dwayne,
Dwayne, so what you just said, Dwayne, is that there's not enough information to say that there was a patio there.
that's his opinion.
that's my opinion.
That's not the opinion of the board
Okay,
yet.
And I realize that everybody has said that there was a deck there. I haven't got a picture, I haven't got any square footage, and
There was never a deck.
pad, concrete pad, or rock pad, yes, it was, no, it wasn't. Yes, there was something there. Nobody's got a picture, and the tax records doesn't show anything. And I've gone back to 82, where it looks like I found where a 24 by 24 addition was put on the back of the camp.
in the back of the camp.
And I've got the tax records, and you really have to look at it to see that, but I've got a 24 by 24 addition, and the original camp was 24 by 30. And it's hard to tell on when they marked it on the tax map, but it looks like 80, 82 or 89, and it's pin scratching here. 80, actually, the date on it is 7/2/83 that somebody inspected it, which back then it was the selectmen that went around the lake and did the assessment, and chances are in 83, they did go around the lake and do a reassessment of all of the camps. So someone or two of the selectmen went door to door doing it. And they've written it down, and, you know, and it may have been that they pulled a permit and somebody went out and inspected it, or,
They did pull a permit in 1982.
yeah. And that's what she's saying, you know, that you jacked it up, and chances are you replaced or built the rock pad at that time,
No,
no?
we didn't.
You didn't, because I can't believe that that rock pad stayed there
While you put that
while you put the
foundation
foundation
underneath
in there, because that doesn't add up in my head for burden of proof if it wasn't created after 82. Because you put a full foundation in, those rocks or whatever was
Wasn't a full-
there.
It's not, excuse me, it's not a full foundation, it's block.
Well, it was a cinder block
Yeah, it's
foundation
block
in the front, and we can, that's
Right.
perfectly.
No, I'm
shows
just
that
saying it
in the-
wasn't,
But I can't
it was a
believe-
block foundation.
Full foundation's full height, though. It doesn't matter the structure,
it's
whether
made out
it's
of.
block or concrete.
Right.
It doesn't
I just wanted to
matter.
make that it was block, I just wanted to say it was
Yeah.
block.
Still a
I
foundation.
understand that.
Beth,
I'm good.
you're good? Do you have any more questions or comments?
None.
Sean?
No.
Are we trying to decide if there's enough evidence that this patio was the same size as the deck that's there, or that there was simply something there?
Probably a little of each.
No, but
That's-
the deck, the
That's the
patio was there,
The patio was there.
and it would have to be the size of the deck that's there.
Which the evidence, okay. Any other questions? What's
I
that?
guess my only statement I'm going to make before any motions is done, that I do take merit in the fact that people make an affidavit swearing under oath that it was there. To me, that means something. Whether it's enough for the rest of the board, I can't say. But it would have been nice if there was some sort of hard picture in there that actually showed it.
We looked everywhere.
There is a
for that.
picture there, shows lawn furniture, you can't really see from that angle what's there.
You have to pretty much be on top of it, looking down to notice it, you know what I mean? It's hard to see like
It's on,
things in the water.
the property is on a
anything
slant
like
of
that.
water, so in order for the furniture to set level, there had to be a platform there.
Can I want to ask one more question here. This sketch for the Class D survey that was done, that area in the front looks like it was penciled on.
That was
That's-
part of the building permit application for this after-the-fact deck that the applicant drew on to show where the deck would be.
Okay. That wasn't done by the survey.
No.
That's, one of the other concerns is that the surveyor should have picked that up when he did this, unfortunately. He should have picked that up. Should have shown that on there,
100% correct.
so.
Yeah, if it wasn't significant, I can see why. It sounds like it was probably just a real rough patio, probably
Flat
wasn't
area.
substantial.
That's why you replaced it.
At one time it was.
Somebody want to make a motion then? That we can tear you apart?
I will make a motion that there is not evidence enough for the zoning board of appeals to make any change of decision of the code enforcement.
And I second it.
Words of wisdom, comments on the motion?
Made mine.
Okay, we'll take a vote. All in favor? Opposed? There's two. So your applications have been denied, and they are denied. Is that a fact?
You have
Yes.
not voted to overturn the decision.
That's right,
That's right.
yes. And I need to advise you that if you're unhappy with its decision, you may request reconsideration by this board within 10 days, or the parties can appeal this decision to the Superior Court within 45 days. You have that information?
Okay, so what, and within 10 days, I have to make a decision to appeal it again?
You can appeal our decision
Okay, to who?
for another hearing. I've never had one appealed.
He can request a reconsideration of this
A
board.
reconsideration?
The board can vote not to hear the reconsideration if it chooses, or it can appeal it to court within 45 days.
Right.
If you could come up with some more information that would convince me that that was there.
If I was to, this is exactly what was said to me every time I asked what I should give. Give me some more information. And then it was more information and more information.
Well-
So if I turn, if I turn around and give you more information, what's that gonna mean? I'm fighting City Hall is what I'm doing.
That's your opinion, sir.
There's no way in the world, as I left Patty the day I was in the office, that I said that this would go. I knew that. After I was led to believe during that 8 months that this was gonna go, that's all I had to do was show that it was how wide it was. That's all we had to do. There was no doubt in my mind that the code enforcement officer did not say that long-wise, it's fine, width-wise, you're saying it's 10-plus feet. I said it was 10-plus feet, because I would have been lying if I said it was 3 feet. When I said with the bucket size, I might have went 11 feet, it might have been 11 feet. I don't think it was any smaller than 10 feet.
Sir, but this was after the fact, after you replaced it.
I understand that, but I was given the opportunity, which was very nice, I was given the opportunity to provide information. And all along this time, I was never led to believe that anything about the zoning, about the line, the offsets, nothing was ever said to me, ever.
Did you ever give any thought to the fact that you put the deck on before you even talked to her? That's why she
Yes.
didn't tell you about that?
During the 8 months we were going through, when I asked, which again, I'll say was very nice, why wasn't it said then? Why wasn't it brought up then? It give me the opportunity to maybe do something about it.
No. What is it?
The only opportunity I had, which was to give me some information about the width, about the size of the patio. The question that there wasn't a patio there, I don't think, I think the building inspector or the code enforcement officer had that inkling that there was one there, but the size wasn't there.
Okay, but you keep talking, the width is in 10 feet. That's actually the depth closer to the lake.
Yeah.
The width would be the width of the house.
Okay, I'm sorry, that's, so it's the
a matter
depth.
of what you've got for width there, and according to the affidavits of the sign, it's 23 feet, now it's 29 feet.
Okay, so that's,
6 foot
so that's the deck, that's the deck. What I'm saying is what I'm getting at right now is the patio part. That's what I'm talking about right now. And if, again, with my understanding, which I could be totally wrong again, with my understanding, if the patio was there, and then the deck was gonna take its toll.
With permits.
The permit, yes,
You'd
with
have to get a
permits,
permit.
And
correct.
the same size, proving that it's meeting the setbacks and the zoning. You have the burden of proof. You have to go get, when she says information, she means you need to go out, make sure you're not using a mortgage inspection, make sure you really know where the property line is, you really know the size of the deck, you're meeting setbacks. That's the information she's looking for. I mean,
But,
I declare the
That-
meeting
that's why-
closed. Thank you.
That we adjourn.
how can we do that when I'm talking?
Sir, to close the meeting. All in favor? Meeting is closed.